Hi, Attorney Rick Wimblad here. Today I'm going to talk to you about advanced healthcare directives. This video does not create an attorney-client relationship and is not considered legal advice. Advanced healthcare directives are part of every estate plan that I put together. What is this? Well, this is a statement of the care you would want or not want to have at the end of your life. It's a set of written instructions for your healthcare provider. The time to fill out your advance directive is not during an emergency. This should be something you think about well in advance. Oklahoma's form has three basic options, and they're similar to the instructions you get from a traffic light. The first is the stop all treatment and don't provide me feeding tubes option. This means that if you have one of the conditions that we'll talk about later, the doctors would not give you any further life-saving treatments and would not give you feeding tubes if you're not able to eat by yourself. The second one says, we'll stop the treatment, but give me feeding tubes if I'm not able to eat or drink by myself. In both the red and yellow light situations, doctors would be providing pain relief and comfort treatments. The final is the do everything, including feeding tubes option. This means just what it says. The doctors are not to give up and to continue to treat you and try to give you life-preserving treatments. The trouble with the Oklahoma form is you may be stuck with the choice you make. What I mean by that is the Oklahoma form does not provide time limitations. So if you choose a green light or yellow light option, you might be stuck on that and not get to the red light. In one famous case in Florida, a woman was on feeding tubes for 15 years. The case, of course, was the Terry Schiavo case. She had a heart attack at age 26 and was kept alive by feeding tubes until the age of 41. If she were in Oklahoma and had chosen the yellow or the green light, she might be alive today, meaning she would have spent half of her life on feeding tubes. Therefore, some people like to set time limits on how long they'd be kept alive using feeding tubes or the green light option. Why set time limits? Well, miracles do happen. There's time for goodbyes, and it gives a family an opportunity to seek alternative treatments. So perhaps if someone was thinking about a red light choice, going with a green or yellow light might be more appropriate, knowing that they could set time limits. The form can be modified for additional instructions. So for my clients, especially those who choose the green or yellow light, it states that after so many days, we're going to change to the withdraw all treatment option. Some people choose this and some don't, and they have varying numbers that they'll use. 21 days, 90 days, 180, whatever seems appropriate in your mind. I also have an advanced directive planning sheet that helps with these types of decisions. So now you have your advanced directive. When is it used? What triggers the advanced healthcare directives? Well, the question is, can you communicate? If you can communicate, we're not even looking at it. But what if you can't communicate? That's when we take a look at it. The first question is, are we dealing with an end-of-life diagnosis? Well, if we're not dealing with that, you're just not able to give instructions at that time. The person that you name as your healthcare proxy or healthcare agent would provide the medical personnel with directions on how you should be cared for. Now, who should be your proxy? Most people will choose their spouse, but choosing a child or a close family friend is also appropriate. Sometimes people make the mistake of naming all their kids as co-equal healthcare proxies. The problem with this is if the kids disagree with the treatment, you could be in a deadlock where you're not getting any treatment. It's better to have someone with the power to make the ultimate decision. So what if you have an end-of-life diagnosis? Well, this would be if the doctors determine that no matter what is done, death will occur within 6 months, or if you're in a permanent coma, or in an end-stage condition of total dependency. Keep in mind again, this is where you're not able to communicate for yourself. If the answer is yes, then we go to the advanced healthcare directives to see which of the decisions you made, the yellow, green, or red light, and whether or not you have time limits. One problem with the Oklahoma form also is that there's no place to register it. Although Oklahoma passed a law authorizing the creation of a registry, the state legislature did not appropriate any funds for that, and so it's just a law in the books that is really not useful at all. We don't even have something as rudimentary as a filing system. So that's why for my clients I recommend that they carry a DocuBank card. It provides information to the medical providers of how to obtain the advanced directive. It also includes information such as allergies, medical conditions, and emergency contact information. Your medication list can also be included on this service. The Oklahoma form also doesn't have a HIPAA release built in. HIPAA is a Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. It's basically a confidentiality law with regard to your health records. Doctors should be able to tell your healthcare proxy what your condition is so that they can make appropriate choices. This is just an extra safeguard so we don't have hiccups down the road. In the form, you're also allowed to make organ and tissue donation choices. That can be for transplantation, medical research, or teaching purposes. Also, Oklahoma law provides that if for a pregnant woman, if she has one of the conditions we listed, that the doctors will keep the individual alive long enough for the baby to be born. So that'd be feeding tubes and other life-sustaining treatments. This applies unless, after becoming pregnant, the to-be mother tells the doctors otherwise. Of course, the form must be signed, and witnesses must sign as well. The witnesses should not be family members or anybody that would be responsible for your healthcare expenses. Once the form is completed and signed, it should be uploaded to the DocuBank. For my clients, that's part of what we do. The decisions should be shared with the family members and especially the people chosen to be the healthcare agents. And finally, a copy should be given to your doctor so that they can put that record in their system. A DNR is a bit of a different creature than advanced directive. A DNR says if you're having basically a cardiac arrest, that they're not to perform CPR in order to revive and keep you alive. I'm Richard Wimblad here in Edmond, Oklahoma. I can be reached at 405-340-6554. Thank you for watching. Oh, almost done. There's a picture of my office and the conference room where we visit about these types of decisions.